Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of A Trigger. I'm your host, Zachary Clark, and you all know my co-host, Adam Thurman. Adam, how are you doing tonight?
Live.
This guy's live, bros.
Yeah.
Here in the summer of Magnum PI, here on Triggered. So sit back, relax, get yourself an ice cold brewski, and don your Hawaiian tee. It's getting hot. Hot, hot. And we know how hot it is, Adam, because we're coming to you live from the front limo seat in President Trump's motorcade, where he's reaching and grasping for the controls of the country.
Oh.
Such a good story. We'll get into that. As usual, though, we have some local news coming to you from the Scanner Radio. Subject drove a vehicle into Herdland Lake, Missouri. 2 males and a female. They swam to shore and are now shooting a BB gun.
Oh, jeez.
Missouri Highway Patrol en route. Well. I guess maybe they were just hot. Needed to swim, cool off. Thought they might get there faster if they just drove their car into the lake. But they were just bros being dudes, so they had to get their BB gun out. Shoot at some targets after they swam to shore from their abandoned vehicle, crashed into the middle of a lake.
Oh, yeah.
Everything very reasonable. Nothing suspicious at all about this story.
I don't get it.
No. Man, like I said, it's just bros being dudes being guys. Who amongst us has not driven a car into a lake, swam to shore with your BB guns, and then proceeded to shoot BB guns as if nothing happened? Seems to me
The heat's getting to people, I think. Or I don't know.
No, I don't know either. No, that's perfectly normal behavior. Nothing else to see here. Moving on. 900 block of Payson. Male ripped the door off of a boarded up house.
Oh.
QPD en route. Now, I don't know, because I don't know much. But in my brain, I see this guy just like Hulk maxing,
Yeah.
gripping the door handle and just like, rah! But I don't know. It was probably something stupider than that.
It's just like the boards that were boarding up the door.
Maybe. Maybe it's the same issue that was with those first guys. Just throwing it out there. Maybe. It's the heat, Adam.
Oh, the heat bill.
He was so hot. He needed to get inside. The heat
Oh,
was driving him mad.
it's the end of the Thriller music video.
The hot blood stirring. And so it got so hot that he had the power to rip a door to splinters. I believe it to be true. Therefore, it is true.
And your opinion can't
That's correct. It's just my opinion. And my opinion can't be wrong. In my opinion, I'm always right. Oh, checkmate, losers. And, as you guys may have heard, oh my gosh, Trump rally! Trump rally! Trump!
He
Trump
was in that. He
rally!
had some motorcade.
Save America! 2024. Dun, 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 dun. Mendon, Illinois. Dun, 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 dun. Here comes Trump. Do, 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 do. Stomping for politicians. Do, 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 do.
It's a Power Man 5000 song.
Such big names as Lauren Boebert were there. Mary Miller, who was maybe the primary reason why the rally was held in West Central Illinois. And my new favorite politician, RIP on her loss for the Republican primary for Senate, Peggy Hubbard, a truly great American and a great Illinoisan who is going to bring grandeur back to this failed state. Not anymore! Some guy I never even heard of.
Some lady you never even heard of.
Some lady person. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. All I did was I was looking up people on the ballot. The first one was some Polish guy, he was cool, whatever. But then I'm like, okay, let's see what this next Peggy Hubbard. All right. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of unhinged controversy around here. Why is she so cool?
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know. I just I googled Illinois primary Senate, and it's just like you won't believe the dangerous J6er who's running in Illinois for Senate, and I'm like, what's her name? Because I mean, well,
No, she got hosed in Chicago. Didn't
yeah.
get the votes up north. Lost the primary election by 30,000 votes. Shame, shame. I still need to write her a letter. Condolences, Peggy. I thought you were great. So sad I only learned about you like 3 days ago. Mayhaps you needed to get more advertising. Yeah, they were just out at the fairgrounds in Mendon. I just drove past there when I was going on a gun run. I was running guns.
Call it Operation Fast and Furious.
They still have like the big signs up. They had a big like semi truck trailer. It says Trump 2024 on the side of it. I keep on seeing commentary. Like he hasn't now officially announced that he's going to run yet and all this stuff. It's like he's at his rallies have giant Trump 2024 signs up, but it's a mystery, guys. I don't know what he's gonna do. So strange. It's the fog of war. Difficult to say how that's gonna shake out. He's a busy man. Maybe he won't run in 2024. I don't know. It might be politically devastating. Like, for example, if he loses the primary. don't know if he comes back from that.
I don't know if he could lose the primary to someone like, I don't know. I don't know who other. I've only heard DeSantis' name floated around. So
Yeah, if the election was held today, who knows? It could just keep getting better and better for him.
who knows if the Republican Party will even exist by that time?
I, well, I don't know. With the Mises caucus taking over the Libertarian Party and Trumpists running rampant in the Republican Party, there could be
Man,
a realignment.
that'd be a match made in heaven.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know.
that would be so sweet. Trumpist libertarians together.
Yeah.
you thought we were unhinged before.
Oh. Well,
Didn't go far enough.
you can't get more unhinged than the amount of money that is being spent to bolster Ukraine in its war against the authoritarian oppressor Putler himself, as I've heard
Oh,
him called.
Putler.
Putler? Maybe that's what it is. It's like poutine, like the delicious Canadian French fries.
Why not come up with your own evil nickname for him instead of just like aligning it?
And then Hitler, the last part for Hitler. Putin, hit, poot, and then lur. Because Hitler and Putler.
He's great at creating original cartoons, like propaganda political cartoons depicting the enemies as inhuman and stuff.
Americans? Is that what you're talking about? We're really good at that?
Yeah, because we're fighting the Russians right now.
No, I mean, I was thinking World War II, where it was like the Japanese were like these fanged beasts.
Yeah, they did a couple different caricatures of them.
The Japanese that I've met in real life aren't really like that, so it didn't add up. Adam, that just happened to be propaganda. You may not know this.
Like, you must defeat Hello Kitty.
That's impossible. She's so cute. What do they call it in China? Or in China? In China? In all those Eastern Asian countries that are exactly the same. Oh no. It's like a chibi or something like this. I don't know. There's like a thing. It's like little and cute. Like
Chibi? It's I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, it's CHIVI, right?
I don't know. I'm not a weeb. Ah, everybody, get this. Adam knows what that word means. Hey, this guy's a weeb.
You just used it. You, you're a weeb.
I don't even know what a weeb is. I don't even know what we're talking about. But I do know that the United States is committing another $7.5 billion to pay the salaries of Ukrainian government employees. Good. Good. I like this. Because once you pay for the thing, then you own it, right? So, Ukrainian territories of the United States, annexed and governed by an American general for the next 10 years.
Not less than 12 months ago, we had our Saigon episode of when the helicopter was flying out of Kabul and the C-130, people falling off dying because we paid for Afghanistan and then we abandoned it.
How do you even do that? How do you even pay for something and then just like throw it in the trash? Adam, it's really a shame. It's really heartbreaking seeing all of these American territories fall back into the locals' hands. I thought I thought colonization was supposed to be more robust than this.
Are
We used to be a proper country once. We need to make it great again.
There we go.
Man, that'd be a good political slogan if anybody would have picked that up.
What is he holding there? Is it like a summer sausage or a salami? I can't even see that.
We were talking about this excellent reply post by Joe Bravo. He's got a picture, it's like a movie poster, and it says the big guy. It's got Joe Biden. It says 10% cut will always go to the big guy. Thumbs up, and he's holding a bald eagle by the throat. Giant for sale tag on the Capitol building.
Oh, it's a for sale tag. Okay. From here, I thought it was like a salami. Oh,
Oh, I don't know.
I thought it was like a glare. Okay.
There was one I saw. There's some people like, I just want my student loans forgiven. Ain't gonna happen, buddy.
Yeah, how much money would that have cost, and how much money have we spent on Ukraine?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Could
saying.
have got our.
They could have done it, but they didn't because obviously they don't care about you idiots. I'd take the free money. Don't get me wrong. I'm there with you.
Idiot.
I'm an idiot too. It wasn't enough to make me vote for the guy when he was spouting off about promising these kinds of things. But
Oh,
I'd
no,
take
he
the
was a
money.
I didn't believe it one bit.
Me either. It's never gonna happen. It would create moral hazard out at the wazoo. All these people.
Oh, but they should just continue printing this money.
What do you mean?
More money for. They give us whatever a check for however much we owe in student loans. Then we in turn cash that check and then write the check to our student loan provider.
Yes, this is a plan that could not fail. Let me just do the math. How many boats could I buy? You didn't pay your student loan with the check. Like, what? I was supposed to pay the student loan with my check? Weird.
I lost it all on the boat.
I thought it was a reparations for my harm suffered at the hands of something education, advanced something.
Southern Europeans enslaving your people.
Yeah.
Lives.
I don't know. We can't really talk about that. I do have from reliable sources that some of my ancestors did hold slaves. So, maybe not me. But hey, people especially need that cash now, so maybe that's a good idea. Because the cryptocurrency is just like in the pooper. So people that were like crypto rich like 6 months ago are now crypto bankrupt. Because their investments have lost like 40% of their value, just like in the gutter. And at the height of this, people were so crypto rich, they just had it like in sacks of money laying around, and they, for whatever reason, they're idiots. They didn't think the ride was ever going to end. The music never stops playing in this game of musical chairs, Adam. my $700,000 Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT token is always going to be worth $700,000. But a guy had lamented his plight, his crypto plight on the internet, where everybody's very compassionate and understanding. And he was talking about how, so we're all poor? Question mark. To which a gentleman replied, "How does that $700,000 ape feel now?" Because Mike, who had said so we're all poor now, had a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT profile picture on his Twitter account. To which Mike, of course, replies, "I bought it because I like the artwork."
Oh no.
Cope, seethed cope, seethed cope, crypto bro. This is the artwork. This is what that idiot paid $700,000 for. This hideous JPEG image. And his cope is, "I like the art, $700,000 worth."
No, that's so dumb.
To which the replies are, this has been like the troll of all these NFT idiots. It's like, whoops, my finger slipped, and he's got a copy of the exact same artwork that guy spent. $700,000 for. Oh, the Schadenfreude. Those idiots. Now, here's something that I do appreciate for the artwork. The emblems for the various units of the U.S. Space Force. Someone did a thread because they discovered them. And this is like a multi-headed Hydra situation. And it is for the Peterson Shriver Garrison. I have no idea what that is, but it's a a six-headed Hydra, and it's like gripping the globe.
Yeah, it's with like the Northern Star above it or whatever.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's so cool. And then you've got this like decaying skeleton face inside of a space helmet with a horsehair plume atop.
It's so amazing.
This is so good. That's the 533rd Training Squadron. We have this bear in the Ursa Major constellation charging and gripping a key. The Space Delta 7. All of these were worth way more than any kind of Bored Ape. Maybe Space Force should have issued an NFT back before crypto crashed and cashed in. Be like, you guys too can own a piece, part ownership of the Delta 5 tiger gripping lightning bolts, wrapping its arms around the very earth.
It's like they looked at like a bunch of 80s metal album covers. You know?
This guy says he wants to get this one as a full back tat. And I think that would be very cool. One of these made me laugh just straight out loud. I gotta find it.
Is that like Sasquatch or something?
Yeah, we have the 62D Cyberspace Squadron. These are all real, he says. And it's a Sasquatch striding the globe, holding a shield in one hand with the Space Force arrow on it and a lightning bolt in the other.
That's so cool.
We have a gargoyle.
Gargoyle.
Oh yeah, this is I think the 614th Combat Training Squadron emblem. Buying a van so I can airbrush this on the side of it.
See, 80s metal.
It's a winged tiger, with a star set in its eye, in front of a globe holding a gladius in its clawed hand. Oh no, this was it. This is the sickest stuff I have ever seen. It's a Chinese dragon with some sort of like rings around the earth, but it's got its just like gripping the earth with again the North Star standing off to the side. Oh man.
Reaper.
Space Operations Squadron is a cowled, shadowy figure. Is this some kind of kraken of the deep? The 22nd Space Operations Squadron, they had a bet with the 23rd, these guys, about who could look more evil. This is just a cat. Googling, can UK citizens get a job with the US Space Force? Oh man, maybe there is hope for the United States Armed Forces. Maybe.
Those are.
Maybe there's one branch of the armed forces that is no longer. Fuzzy in the chat shouts "Hail Hydra" regarding that Kraken, I do believe.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Adam, did you know that the Chicago Police Department is closing way more cases than they had been?
They're closing them?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm distracting. I think fireworks are going off.
Oh, probably. It's fireworks season. Just ask my dogs. I think that Allison drugged one of them tonight. Yes, the Chicago Police Department has been.
They're solving crimes. He said. Sorry.
No. You may have misheard me. Solving crimes means they're solving crimes. They're closing the cases.
Because they solve the crimes, right? Some way else should you close the case if you haven't solved the crime?
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people had that question. And apparently, some guy had recently detailed his investigation with CBS News, and he was talking about the unsolved murder rate in America and how it is disastrously low. Now, of course, I don't know what that even means in context of his story and whatever, because I guess the argument has been that the reason that there was higher solved rates in the past was because they were pinning it on stool pigeons or whatever, and scapegoats, and actually, because you can see from all these overturned DNA situations from the Innocence Project that they didn't actually solve crimes. They just found some homeless guy with mental illness that they could pin it on. Case closed. Back to the bar. Or whatever 1960s cops did. And apparently, it's like quadruply egregious, because what Chicago's been doing is that they have been closing cases not because of they've captured and arrested somebody, but because they presented their case to the state's attorney's office, and the state's attorney's office refused to prosecute it. Yes, that's correct. A case was presented to the state's attorney's office, evidence from the police, along with the suspect of the crime, and they said, "This is the guy. Got him in cuffs down at the station." And then the state's attorney looks at it and says, "Nah, we ain't we ain't gonna do that one. And that is this light blue here. That has grown from...
It is. What I'm assuming are those years at the bottom.
Yes. From 2010 to 2021. So for the last
Oh,
11
dude,
years.
so the past 10 years.
Yes, but something seems to have happened in 2017. There's just a skyrocketing percentage of cases.
I thought that might have been over the course of 40 or 50 years. You
No,
mentioned
no.
Innocence Project and DNA stuff and whatnot, but so over the past 3 or 4 years, 5 years, what
There,
happened?
there have been an expanding number of refused to prosecute cases by the Chicago State's Attorney's Office,
Hmm.
including this story where the police... Well, I'll tell it as I recall it from reading the article. A woman's son, 19 years old, adopted son, youngest child in her family, at 19 years old, gunned down in the streets. And 6 months later, another one of her sons from the same neighborhood suffered a similar fate. And the police sort of knew who did it. Everybody was on board. But they never prosecuted him. Every time the mother would check in, the police said, we'll let you know. Probably a couple weeks, probably a couple weeks, probably a couple weeks. For years. And then later they found out that actually they had decided to close the case for not prosecuting him. The state attorney's office refused to specifically comment on any one case, but they did point the finger back at the police and said they aren't producing sufficient evidence for us to bring these cases to trial. They should never have brought us these cases in these states, so we're not prosecuting these crimes. Like that one incident where there was a running gun battle with multiple stolen vehicles in a residential neighborhood, wherein the fleeing gunmen crashed the stolen vehicle and were taken into custody at the hospital, but were released and not prosecuted. Not enough evidence, Adam, that any crime had been committed by those humble citizens.
Yeah,
In
I
Cook
remember, if I
County, Illinois.
recall correctly, the Chicago PD and the mayor said that that's inaccurate. That they're like, why aren't you prosecuting this?
There's no answer. They're just refusing to answer, or the reports are refusing to actually get down and find out what's going on.
Yeah, this is where if you want the hard hitting journalism stuff, this is the deal. Prove that Kim Fox is taking bribe money. Oh, find out why.
Yes, there you are. Find out why exactly the state's
Is
attorney...
Kim Fox not prosecuting?
Yeah. Why wouldn't these gang members that are dead to rights on having committed heinous crimes in the city of Chicago prosecuted even after they are arrested by the police and their cases presented for prosecution? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. That boggles my mind. In this article, there was another story. It was a couple kids, and then they were confronted, and one of the gunmen said, "Run, because this is the day you're going to die," or something like this, and then proceeded to kill the person. And the other person that survived got a good look. The police knew exactly who it was. They had an eyewitness. They had a gun. The guy got arrested. The state's attorney refused to prosecute the case. Why and how, I don't understand. The state's attorney refused to comment. And she hasn't been run out of town or strung up, so I'm shocked even more. Chicago, get your house in order.
It tells you something, too.
Citizen self-help is something that you need to look into.
Because the cops can run people out of town, you know? There's powers that be in Chicago, you can get ran out of town, politically or otherwise.
No, I don't buy it.
And so the fact that state's attorney, who is, getting calls for both CPD and the mayor to get their stuff in line, is just refusing to, and is fine, should tell you something.
Yeah, she needs to go to prison probably. Too bad we didn't. The person that said that he was going to start making people do perp walks wasn't the one who won the Republican nomination for Attorney General of Illinois. Sad day. I picked 0 winners in that primary, except for the people that were running unopposed. I think that was it. Max Solomon, I think he got like 4th place.
He got like 40,000 votes or whatever.
Yeah.
Not even, probably.
I mean, that's still pretty good. Some no
name. Yeah. I know.
One of them was mine. Here's to you, Max Solomon. Better luck next time.
How do you on the ballot? There you go. So that you could be interviewed and just come off completely unhinged, like 0 chance.
Oh yeah. It's not hard.
Like, gosh, this guy has his own podcast, and we've watched the 6 complete seasons of it, and these are the most extreme things that he said.
That's it. We are running Adam Furman, Republican for governor, and when will that be for your 2026?
Oh man!
Just for the memes.
That would be 6 seasons too, or maybe 5, almost starting at 6. We've got hey, you need to come up with. Are we starting? When's season 3 begin?
Season 3 should start any day now. I forgot to check. This could be season 3.
I think it's like next week or so.
Let's say end of July. July is the last month. Maybe we'll halfway through. I don't know.
The network it for another 2 episodes for this season.
This could be the season finale right here. This mediocre episode with no real theme. We pulled out all the bangers for you, folks. But you may have heard, Adam. Speaking of bangers out there may want to be careful because Roe v. Wade has been repealed.
Why? Why do you have to say those things?
And the president is upset about it. He says, folks, he needs to let you know, folks, let's get one thing straight. The ultra MAGA agenda.
G13.
The ultra MAGA agenda has always been about taking away women's rights in every single state. Da, 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 da. Ultra MAGA. It's all about taking away women's rights. Ultra MAGA. From President Donald Trump, known person who's trying to take away women's rights, who appointed women to such lowly positions as Supreme Court Associate Judge. Secretary of Education. Ultra MAGA. It's not credible. How can you say these things? How can you say things like the next guy who replied, Obama is still USA best president of all time?
It's factually incorrect.
Mate! How could this be, Adam? Who is driving the car? Biden's not driving the car. How can this be? Wait a minute. Did someone say driving a car? Adam, breaking news! Breaking news, Adam, breaking news! Cassidy Hutchinson, former aide to White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, testifies that Trump demanded to be taken to the Capitol after the January 6th rally, attempted to grab the steering wheel from the Secret Service agent. I'm the effing president. Take me to the Capitol now. In other versions of this, I heard that he literally choked the agent. Yes, that's correct. The President of the United States grabbed the wheel because he's riding shotgun, right? Because that's what he always does. He always rides like middle seat bench in the front seat of the limousine right next to the agent. He grabbed the wheel and he's like, I'm the president. Take me to the Capitol building. And then he reached out with his gnarled Coke-scented Coca-Cola, Diet Coke scented hands. And he gripped him right around the throat. This sounds very plausible to me, Adam. Very plausible.
Oh, as plausible as the Gorilla Channel thing. Except this was made under oath.
Well, it was made under oath as I heard from Guy who heard from person who was the secretary for Guy who said thing.
Oh, so, you mean hearsay?
Just like it might be quadruple hearsay. Yeah. It's still worthy of congressional testimony.
Talking about the money wasted on the Ukraine thing. How much money's wasted on this stuff?
Oh, if a dollar, too many. A source close to the Secret Service tells me both Bobby Engel, the lead agent, and the presidential limousine SUV driver are prepared to testify under oath that neither man was assaulted and that Mr. Trump never lunged for the steering wheel. Oh, it's not real, Adam. I would have never guessed.
Driving him. They drove him here. I don't know who exactly who, but he still has a detail.
No, he choked those guys to death. Took the wheel. Flipped the limo.
They're alive and with their families. They also pay no attention to the 6 suicides with the cops.
Crawled out of the burning wreck of the limousine that he wrenched the wheel away from the agent from.
Yeah, you mean he trickled out, right? And then he rose up and formed into.
Are you saying that he is the T-1000?
That is what I'm saying.
It could be. Someone has a BS amplifier detection and it's cranked to the max.
No, it's wild.
Yeah,
I don't get
it. Even more evidence. Someone's come out with new proof. Breaking news again, Adam. Just after release of this damning story of how the president tried to manhandle and wrestle his agents to drive him to the Capitol building on January 6th. New! Trump's girth would prevent him from actually getting the steering wheel of his SUV. Former Secret Service agent says, I don't see this president ever being able to do that. Ever. Not physically possible. Not
It's like, what do you mean? Have you seen him?
And seriously, you've seen the guy. He's all over the news. Ain't no way
You
that guy's climbing through
can't,
the front of the SUV, taking the wheel. Are you joking?
can't walk down a ramp.
Ever. Ever. uh, hilarious and obvious. But Adam, that doesn't mean that people didn't have a little bit of fun with it. I need to be there. I need you to take me. He ran his hand through his flowing golden hair as he spoke, part frustration and part habit. I can't. It wouldn't be safe. Your protective energy stones haven't been recharged. They have a shaman and don't you know who I am? I
This is like an anime.
I healed the Earth's wound in the Gulf, staunched the black blood that flowed out of her with a touch of my hand. I touched the orb, pondered its mysteries, altered the course of human evolution. Who are you to tell me what to do? Sir, I'm sorry. It goes against protocol. Trump closed his eyes and held his hand up to the glass, separating him from the agent in the driver's seat. He began to make a noise. It was deep and inhuman, like the hum of an ancient forgotten god. The agent looked on in horror as the orange fingers began to pierce through the glass like baby carrots dipped in water. Mr. President, please, you mustn't. Trump said nothing. The hand continued to move through the glass, then the arm, then the hair. The hair. God, the hair. It moved on its own as though blown by some mystic wind. No, not wind. Like tentacles reaching out from some cosmic ocean inside his skull. The flesh was but a shell. He was pure power, energy incarnate. The hair wrapped around the agent's throat. Now, now take me now. I'm the Mama German president. The agent gasped, struggled against the golden strands wrapped around his neck. The more he fought, the tighter they coiled. The agent went limp. He would drive himself. The mystic... The, the, the mystic mane moved the slumped over agent to the passenger seat. Trump climbed through the glass and into the seat. It's been a while. He took out his phone to tweet from his burner account that he was on his way. Lol, Lamau, Bert, he tweeted. He pulled up to the Capitol and watched the chaos before him, the horrific beauty of it. He thought for a moment, then he pulled out the orb. I have to be sure. He peered into the abyss contained within the sphere and saw the future. He saw there the coming of the earth serpent. He saw the collapse of the miners of bit. Oh, bit miners. Okay. He saw cringe, unimaginable spewing forth from the acolytes of Moloch. And he saw that the world was not ready for his final ascension. I will return when the time is ripe and thick with 2 C's. He opened the passenger door and pushed out the agent. Sleep well, Fed. Then he turned on the radio. Into your hands I trust myself, computer algorithm, playing songs. Give me a sign. A song began to play. He smiled and drove off. You know, you won't have sound for this, but everybody else will.
Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take ya. Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go? Jamaica, off the Florida Keys.
Yes, it's Kokomo by the Beach Boys. Was the song that played on the radio. Uh oh, Adam. It might not be over for Trump, even though the absurd impossibility of the claimed events can't be denied. 6 more women have come forward with allegations that Trump tried to grab their steering wheels.
Ugh.
With all these women coming forward saying that he's a steering wheel grabber, who are we to say that this steering wheel grabbing incident didn't occur? I'm convinced. I #believe all women. The only thing the January 6th committee means is that given how much effort, energy, and resources the regime and its propaganda arms have devoted to it, demonstrates just how much of a threat they believe Donald Trump still is. The enemies he has are the very best thing going for him. #DarkMAGA 2024. Which is true, and I think we talked about that before. I mean, these idiots are seeing the same polling that everybody else sees. Donald Trump wins the election if it's held today.
Yeah, I mean, and it's by a long shot too, because it's like, I mean, the polls are skewed. They're messed. Like whatever. I mean, argue all day about the oh, we adjust it for reasons or whatever, but the past 2, 3 national elections, they've been really really off. They were saying Biden coast in through a landslide this past time, and I mean, well, it's because they had the votes at 3 a.m. But they didn't realize how much. And they all the polls. Remember that? Does anybody else remember 2016? I was watching CNN. Oh my gosh, it was so sweet to watch. there's online, there's meltdowns, just meltdowns. Like, oh, we're sort of gonna call Florida, right? I'm like, the guy who manages the touchscreen TV is like, well, I think it's a little too soon to call that because we don't have oddly specific numbers for Miami-Dade County or whatever. And and they're like, 10 minutes later, they're like, well, are we gonna call Florida? And it's like, well, we just called Ohio for Trump, so they usually go hand in hand, just the way the things go. Like it just works out. And they're like, no, I think Florida's good. And they called Florida for Trump, and they're like, wait, so does this mean? And they're just in complete denial. It's so good.
Yeah, Hillary was going to win in a landslide according to every poll.
Every for like 6 months.
Well, I don't know. Well, Trump did see in his orb the lamentations of the disciples of Moloch. And that's because the Supreme Court did, in fact, cast down the vile heresy that was Roe v. Wade, the betrayal of the court's sacred obligation to not make law but only interpret it. It has been torn from the book.
And fell like lightning.
Lightning from Justice Thomas's hand. Oak Ravel and Lawrence are next. Oh, all of the liberals screamed at once in lamentation and fear.
Even Griswold.
Griswold was a birth control case.
Yeah, that was like the right to privacy.
Yeah, well, all in elaboration of substantive due process
Right.
rights read into the penumbras between 4th first, fifth, third, I believe they even incorporated into that. Since you can't quarter your soldiers in my house implies that there's some sort of zone, personal private zone contemplated in the enumerated rights of the Constitution, implying, Adam, a privacy interest that is a unviable right that exists, and we're reading it into due process clause somehow. Don't worry about it. Anyway, you can't make these laws.
that way.
What?
That would make a lot more sense than what I said. Did they read the quartering? No, not the Quartering Act. The Third Amendment, the prohibition on quartering soldiers.
I believe.
Did they read
yes.
that? Oh, okay.
They what they did was the
So that
penumbras and emanations,
Yeah, okay.
the nocturnal emissions of the Constitution have created
Okay.
have created a unenumerated right. It's right there, plain as day. And because privileges or immunities don't get us there somehow, we're going to have to find a way to make this work. Huh. You know, it says right there that they won't be able to deprive you of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So what process is required? Yes, that's it. That's what it will be. Yes, yes. The process required in order to regulate these liberty interests, a liberty, not life liberty, which is specifically stated, is going to be very high because of its importance that we've created. I mean, discovered that has always existed. And then you say, well, what process is required in order to regulate it? It has to be narrowly tailored to address a specific governmental interests without unduly infringing on protected interests. Which none of these laws ever managed to do. It'd be like similar to having a facially, racially prejudiced statute stand in 2022. Well, actually, let's roll it in 2001, back when actually racism was still illegal. It's not anymore. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But what you gonna do, Adam? What you gonna do? Because, as we all know, it's only a matter of time. People are going to be shocked, Adam. People are going to be shocked when the first state tries to arrest a woman for crossing a state line to get health services.
Yes, the euphemism of this injury.
Yes, it's health services, Adam.
Oh.
Perfectly healthy pregnancies that only implicate maternal health in 0.0017% of all pregnancies. And abortions for health reasons. Yes, this is true. President, nominally Catholic President Joseph Biden. Yeah, and this is what I think is going to happen. He said during the meeting the federal government will work to protect women who need to travel across state lines. They're going to implement a federal statute regulating abortion nationwide in the next 5 months before the new Congress is sworn in.
It's going to be, or if they do, but they would have to get it passed. Was it 60 vote threshold in the Senate? Or no?
He's talking about doing away with the filibuster just the other day for everything. Because filibuster prevents him from imposing majoritarian authoritarianism on the country in the next 5 months prior to the will of the people overturning that. He's got plans, Adam. Plans. And then in 6 months, he will have to resign due to health reasons, allowing Kamala Harris, if she can swing it, or through political maneuverings, at least to retain the presidency of the Democratic Party for the next 3 years. Or 3 terms. Very cool. Very cool. But the old abortion thing has brought out all the old tropes. In fact, we even have a congresswoman on Twitter saying it's not pro-life if you oppose gun violence prevention. Oppose universal health care. Oppose affordable prescription drugs. Oppose the child tax credit. Oppose paid leave. Oppose universal child care. Oppose free school meals. And support endless wars. You are just pro forced birth.
Wars?
Yes, that's a Democrat complaining about endless wars. You are correct to laugh out loud with that one. Hey, remember when we just talked about how $7.5 billion was going to aid a country currently at war with a major world power? Yes, it's the pro-life people that are perpetrating endless wars. That's what I see with my eyes. But I saw this and I had to respond. It's not pro-choice if you oppose private gun ownership, oppose private healthcare decisions, oppose prescription drug competition, oppose lowering everyone's taxes, oppose negotiated employment terms, and support monopolistic public educations. You're just pro-baby murder. And you just are. Ain't no way around it. Just say, yeah, I support it wholeheartedly for women to be able to decide to murder. I think they should be able to decide to murder. And just embrace it. I'm tired of the euphemisms on both sides. Like, yes, true. I don't think that women should have a choice. I think that they should not be allowed to commit murder. I am the anti-murder side. They're the pro-murder side. It's not really murder because it's not a human, Adam. It's just a lump of cells, which wasn't even part of a lot of the things because they've abandoned that. You can't make that argument stick anymore. People are like
science has proliferated far enough out that they can't. Yeah, you got to be intentionally ignorant to not know that.
It's like every single one of us talking about this was once a fetus. You can't get around the fact that that lump of cells, given time, will have an entire life of experiences, broken hearts and breaking hearts, struggles and suffering and elation and joy. And you're literally chopping that to pieces inside of a woman's womb. That's what you're doing. And you say that it's okay to because reasons. And then everybody's just going to say, I don't think that's right. That's what all these polls is like, do you think women should have the right to choose? Like, oh, yes, I do. I agree. Like, do you think that a woman should have the right to have a fetus dismembered and all of its future destroyed and taken away from it for frivolous whim? Oh, I don't think that's right. That doesn't sound right at all. Like, okay. So elective abortion should be banned. They're like, well, I guess if that's what that means. That's not how they structure those polls, and everybody's manipulating you, and they're trying to make you think.
Yeah, it'll be like we've asked these Americans, and 70% think that Roe should not be overturned, and it's like, They don't even know what that case is.
Everything is just one big lie on top of another. But you know who'll never lie to me? Ice-T. With his Ice Cold Fact of the Week! He actually didn't have any ice cold facts. He got into some Twitter beef with idiots clowning him. And so...
Oh, nice.
But I found this one and I thought it was good. What's the safest distance to talk crap to someone who would F you up? Question mark, question mark. The internet. Ice cold facts! Straight from Ice-T. People sometimes forget that they're not online. Like, there was that guy who was messing with Mike Tyson on an airline flight.
Yeah.
He found out he wasn't on the internet.
Yeah.
And that Mike Tyson, as like a 6-year-old man, can still throw hands.
Wasn't like that guy like annoying all the passengers too?
Yeah, he was just being insufferable. Yeah, I think there's probably
Yeah.
something wrong with him or whatever.
Yeah. I was like the Buzz Aldrin thing, right? Or the Neil Arm. Who was the guy?
Buzz Aldrin was confronted
Oh.
by some internet crank who
Yeah.
like ambushed him walking through a hallway, saying, calling him a liar, and saying that he faked the moon landing and all this stuff, and Buzz just drops him.
Yeah.
Well, just,
It's like that. Like, you know what? No charge. No
no
charges.
charges.
Let's commit that one in Chicago.
Oh, probably. I don't know. That's a common occurrence throughout the country. But it used to be that you just had to be a famous guy. Now it's just like you have to be associated with some sort of organized gang for some reason. I don't know what the connection is.
You could be a famous guy, and your wife could take a poop on the bed, and people still will take her side over.
Oh no! Anyway, folks, that's our show tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash like, subscribe, share it with your friends. And you can even follow us on social media and see bangers like my reply to a sitting congresswoman about how she's pro-baby murder. Our social media handles are on the screen. You have at Adam S. Furman, at Zachary W_Clark, and at Triggered_Media. Adam, did you have anything you'd like to add here at the end of the show tonight?
You know, I had something last week, but we didn't do that.
Bring
My
it
book was-
back. Bring it back.
My book was I was going to promote it, but it's not. But I did get a new 5-star review on how great it is.
Oh.
So pick up my book.
Adam's book, Collateral Damage, on Amazon. All right, folks. That's the show. We will see you next time on Triggered. Good night.